Okay, this next topic, what we're going to do is called solving right triangles. Now, all that really means is we want to find all the missing sides and angles. So you can see here in this one, I've got 2 sides found, and they give me 1 angle. The angle is, you can see it's got that little degree symbol there, right? Degrees. That would be like 120 degrees. That's what that little symbol right there means. And it's inside there to let you know it's in that little corner. So what we have to do then is figure out the other side, right? And we want to figure out what this other angle is. Now let me break that down a little bit more. In a right triangle, right, this one right here is backwards from that one, but it really doesn't matter which direction they're going. What matters is that you have your 2 legs, A, B, and then your C, your hypotenuse. And then directly across from that little C is the 90-degree angle. And we start calling angles by their capital letters. So angle C is directly across from little c. Angle A, capital A, that angle is directly across from the length, little a. And then, of course, that means that angle B, this guy, is directly across from his side, which is little b. And that's how you're going to label them. Just always go A, B, and C. Then across from them are going to be your little a, little b, and little c. It doesn't matter which one's A and B. Remember, those legs can switch. What matters is that you do have C in there. So 2 things that we're going to use. One of them is the Pythagorean theorem, which you guys just did last time, right? A squared, B squared, C squared. C is always the hypotenuse, which is always the longest side. And then you have 2 legs, right? A and B. It doesn't matter which one's A, doesn't matter which one's B. The only thing that matters now is that if I call this angle A, angle with a capital letter, then this side over here is going to have to be little a, which means for angle B right here, his side, little b, is directly opposite. And then, of course, we've got our C up here that's across from the 90-degree angle. All right, so a squared plus b squared equals c squared means a squared plus 3 squared equals 6 squared. Finish solving. Let's see, a squared equals, what is that, 27? 9 minus 36 minus 27. Then we square root it. And we get a equals the square root of 27. We don't leave it that way though. We go, okay, wait a minute. 27 breaks down. Boop, boop, boop. Calculator says 3 and 3, 3 and 3. So I do have a pair of homies. One's going to make it out, but then one ends up staying inside. And that would be your value right here for A. And you could plug that into your calculator and get me an approximate, a decimal, but I prefer the ones like that, unless it asks for it. Okay, so now we've got all 3 sides of the triangle. Now we need to make sure we have all 3 angles. So it's easy to see, obviously they've given us B, 29.5. And then right here, this right angle is 90 degrees. And the rule goes with triangles the sum of all the angles in a triangle. So if I add up all those angles, I'm supposed to get 180. Can't seem to pick a good color. All right, so whatever angle A is plus angle B, remember I'm using capital letters for angles, plus C blah, blah, is supposed to equal 180. Okay, capital A, I don't know. Plus, I do know B, they gave it to us as 29.5. Plus, now C will always be 90, equals 180. So I'm going to add this 29.5 and 90. So A plus 119.5 equals 180. Subtract that guy. And we get that angle A, capital A, equals, carried, borrow, 7, 8. Just kidding, borrowed from there. I can do this easier, it is in my head. It would be 70.5 degrees. Okay, sorry, pause for a minute there. So there is my missing angle. Found my missing side, found my missing angle, and that has been solved. All right, next example. In this one, we're given angle A, so I know that capital A is 40 degrees. I don't know capital B, this angle right here. I always know that capital C, that angle right there, is 90 degrees. Now I am given little a is 5, little b is 6, and I don't know what little c is. Okay, let's start with the easy stuff. Let's do c. So a squared, 5 squared, plus 6 squared, that's b, equals c squared, 25, 36, 61, square root both sides, and you get that c is the square root of 61. And then 61 is prime, so we would just leave little c as the square root of 61. Okay, now let's find angle B. Remember, A plus B, capitals, plus C is supposed to equal 180. I know that A is 40. Don't know B. I do know C is always 90. So combining the two angles on this side, B plus 130. And then you subtract the 130. And we know that angle B now is 50 degrees. So when you're asked to solve a triangle, this is essentially what I would like to see. I know that some information was given. I'm really just looking to make sure that you can find these. But when we get to solving right triangles part 2, it's going to help to have it separated like that. Okay, let's try another one. All right, this one I've got an angle. I've got this longest side. We know that's C. So that makes this capital C for the angle. I need to get this angle, and I need to get this side right here. So which one's A, which one's B, really doesn't matter. Let's call this guy A, which makes this guy B. Directly across, that's going to be little a. And then B directly across will be little b. All right, I'm going to write down what we do know. A is 24 degrees. Don't know B. C is always 90. I do know that little a is 3.5. I do not know little b, but I do know little c, the hypotenuse, is 9. Okay, let's start with angle B. Let's go there first. Doesn't matter which one is written first, but we've got 25 degrees plus whatever B is, plus C, which is always 90. Oopsie. Okay, that's supposed to equal 180. Combining the two numbers. What's up a plus? Man, we've got lots of whoopsies on this slide. B plus 114 equals 180. Get rid of that guy. And we get that angle B, capital B, is 66 degrees. All right, then to find little b, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So 3.5 squared plus little b squared equals 9 squared. Okay, multiplying those out. Like this is 12.25 plus b squared equals 81. I'm going to subtract the 12.25. B squared is 68.75. Stay. Which means now it's the square root of a decimal. And we don't leave it like that. We're not going to do a tree and break it down. So if you're given a value, one of the sides in a decimal, and you end up with a square root under the decimal, just give me an approximate for that. So the square root of 68.75 is about 8.3. So there is your other side. Easy, yeah? All right, last example. So this one, again, it's still a right triangle. You've got your little square right here in the side, two perpendicular lines. The longest side's called the hypotenuse. We call that little c. That means this right angle, the one with the square, is capital C. Doesn't matter which one's A and B. We'll label it that. I have angle A. I do not know angle B. C is always 90 degrees. Okay, across from capital A is side A, so little a is 24. I don't know little b again. And then little c, the hypotenuse, is 26. Okay, same exact process to find the side. I'll do this one first. So we've got 24 squared plus b squared equals 26 squared. Okay, got those squared out. Then I got to minus the 576. I get b squared equals 100. Then when you square root, you get that b equals 10. Okay, the even easier part is to find angle B. So we've got 67 plus b plus 90 is 180. Those are angles, so they're degrees. B plus 157 equals 180. That means B equals 23 degrees. Okay, there you go. Those are all your values. Pythagorean theorem, the sum of all the angles have to add up to 180. And that's all you need to know.